7 of the ASMR podcast. Today we have an icy. Haven't gone to making my drinks yet, but this will do for now. It's really good. I just had it for my first time today. Coconut pineapple. And another thing, if you have not noticed, I have a new sign. Thank you, Jordan, my boyfriend. He, I don't know why I say it like that. Thank you to my boyfriend who got me this sign for my birthday, and I am so excited about it. Like, literally, this is going to be the background, not only for the podcast, but, anytime I make a video here, this is, like, safe space. This is your safe space, my safe space, our safe space to be vulnerable, authentic, genuine, open up, relax, and just be in this present moment with each other. So today I'm going to be talking about my spiritual journey and what happened. I'm staring at my cat right now. She's looking at me. She's confused. What made me get into a spiritual awakening? What happened? Kind of my journey of everything. And I'm going to sum it up in real short ways because, of course, life is much more complex than how I'm about to explain it. Let's open up this drink first because my mouth is dry. It's a nice sound. Hopefully this doesn't get me because it's, oh gosh, what's the word? Sparkling. So hopefully I don't get burps or anything, but if my mouth does make any noises, I apologize in advance. I just want to relax, talk about my spiritual journey, and just be real. I don't really want to edit it that much. Honestly, every video I kind of just want to keep the sounds in, but okay, that is so good. Let's talk about my spiritual journey. So, my spiritual awakening. I have a couple notes just so I can just be a little organized. I always need that. I already had a throat noise, but anyway. The first part of my spiritual awakening, I grew up religious. So my family is Christian, and I grew up when I say very religious, it does not mean that I went to church every Sunday, had any roles. I was a non-denominational Christian, which means kind of like a freelance, free, like, Catholics, they have a lot of roles on, Lent, don't eat meat on Fridays, certain things, confession and everything. I did not have any of that. I did not go to church every Sunday. So technically I wasn't really religious, but religious in the sense that I had a deep connection with God, prayed every night, and just loved God so much. I still love God, but we'll talk more about, the difference between, I guess, religion and spirituality. But I grew up with that connection with God. I did go to church here and there, and I prayed every single night. I listened to Gay Love on the radio, which is a Christian radio station, and I just, my parents raised me Christian, and so that's what I was. And because of that, I am very grateful because it did give me that connection with God through prayer, and I realized, like, so many prayers have manifested. Disclaimer, I am not a part of a religion anymore, okay? So I'm spiritual, but I believe that every religion holds truth to it, and I believe that everything is connected. Like, the ego twists things, so the ego can twist religion in certain ways where it's not its pure sense anymore. When the human mind touches something that is so pure, like religion or like intuition or, the Bible, for example, our mind can twist it. And I do think, in my belief, these episodes are kind of controversial, I don't know, but another disclaimer, I do respect you for whatever you are, whatever you believe in, okay? I do, and I see truth in everything. So if you told me what your beliefs are, I'll probably see truth in that. But I'm just sharing my truth and my perspective. Nothing is right or wrong. It is all a perspective. So this table makes noise when I lean on it. Great. But this is all a perspective. guys to like me. And I remember in 5th grade, I prayed for this one guy that I had the biggest crush on to like me and ask me out literally the next day. I did it for a few days on and off, but I remember this one distinct time I was like, please let this guy like me. And I didn't talk to him. We didn't talk. I just liked him. You know, I had a crush on him. That's what elementary school is. And so the next day at recess, he just came up to me randomly. I've not spoken. Probably spoke like, you know, a couple words or something, but asked me out. Just said, will you be my girlfriend? Crazy, right? You know, they always say in religion that a child's prayer is very powerful. And that happened on multiple occasions where I pray about something and it happens. And kind of like spirituality, law of attraction, you be the energy of something, you think about something, you pray about it, you manifest it, you create it into your reality. It is what it is, but oh, my voice just got weird. Next, so that created my connection to God. That's a really, really important piece of this because I would not be who I am today without that. I needed that. And so I also grew up having OI and scoliosis. So OI is osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a bone disease where you lack, I guess you lack calcium, but I don't know if it's that simple, but I break bones easily. And I don't know if you have ever seen it, but I do have a blue sclera, so the white part of my eye is blue. And people think I have contacts, but it's because I have OI, and it does that. But I break bones easily. I've broken 13 bones, and, you know, I always downgrade everything. Like, I'm thinking, oh, 13 bones, that's nothing compared to what other people have broken, but I think the average, that's a lot. But so I've broken a lot of bones starting when I was young up into this age, and mostly my broken bones were, you know, from 0 to middle school. In high school I broke, like, I don't even know, I hurt my knee, but I don't think that was broken, and I hurt my elbow, but besides the point, I broke bones, and I would break a leg and be stuck in the house. I would hurt myself in middle school and be stuck in the house, so I didn't have the typical. Real quick, I'm also not going to try to, like, I know everyone says, like, oh, someone has it worse, so you're invalidated, like, you're irrelevant. I know my life situation is, I'm very privileged, I'm very lucky, I love my life, but this is my experience and my many traumas and my traumas that I'm not about invalidating compared to another story. Just like your story is very valid. You don't have to downgrade and say it wasn't that bad. To our inner child, it could have been bad, so don't downgrade, you're validated. Anyway, I also had scoliosis, which I had really bad scoliosis, very progressive, and I think everyone knows what it is, but it's when you have a curvature of the spine. And I think I had this because of my OI, because OI causes scoliosis as well. And I had scoliosis surgery in 8th grade. So back surgery is spinal fusion. Now I cannot bend my back, which, speaking of, oh, I don't know if that sounded loud. Speaking of, my back is so sore right now. It is hurting so bad. I don't know why. It's been for the past couple days. Spinal fusions do not solve everything. I am so grateful. Jeez, that was a lot. I am so grateful I got it. And yeah, I'll talk about that in a moment, but I do still have some pain in my lower back, my right hip, and my back in general, mostly my lower back. I think it has to do with nerve damage, but I don't even know. So that's that. I still have some scoliosis, but I can't bend my back I can bend my neck, I can bend my hips, but my back is fused, and I have 3 discs at the bottom that can bend, so that's why I can lean forward, I can move my hips, but that's about it. If your throat stuff, that's that. Let me take a sip real quick. So, I was stuck in my room for months during my scoliosis surgery as well, in the healing process, and it wasn't necessarily like, it wasn't just about being stuck in my room. OI and scoliosis especially, made me very insecure about my body, and I had an underbite. My underbite was so bad. I'm sure I mentioned it before, but it was so bad that I would sit in class trying to just cover my face. What is that noise? I would sit in class covering my face so no one would view me from the side. I would not smile, and I think there was a moment where I got insecure, and I think, because I was trying to remember this earlier, like, I didn't always think I was ugly, you know? There's a moment when we decide that we're something, and I think in 7th grade, I know this happened, but I don't know if it's the moment where I decided that I was ugly, but, I saw my crush making fun of my underbite. I had the biggest crush on him. You know, when you're young, middle school and stuff, you have crushes, especially if you're a girl. But I saw him imitating my underbite, and I don't know how to do it now because I can't move my jaw forward because I had the surgery. But, again, a little bit. Okay, yeah, he was going forward like that, and I saw him and this other popular kid laughing. I was never popular, okay, so I saw them making fun of it, and I got really insecure. Because I think, I don't know what I was doing, but I was looking over at them, like, smiling or something, I don't know. And then I saw that, and yeah, that moment changed a lot for me, and to this day, I just remember it so vividly. I remember I was at my locker, they were at theirs. Horrible, but, so yeah, I struggled with a lot of self-love and a lot of insecurities, and with my scoliosis and my OI wasn't necessarily like an insecurity because you wouldn't have known, but physically my back was very crooked. I even stood crooked, and my underbite was the worst of them all. So I know I'm saying this in like a non-emotional, I'm trying to like give the story of it, and I don't really necessarily, I don't want to spend too much time on one thing because, yeah, let's just keep going. So, I would listen to Christian slam poetry, and in middle school I would cry so hard, asking God to just let me wake up with not an underbite. Like, I remember just thinking, like, you do miracles, right? So let me wake up and I do not have it. And I would also have the worst back pain, the worst scoliosis pain, and pray for that to be cured as well. I was expecting a miracle to my back to be straight, my underbite to be fixed, to wake up, and all of a sudden it's done. And like, I was serious because I believed deeply in miracles and things like that to be possible. You know, you imagine big when you're younger, where your physical body can change that easily. And so I prayed for it, and I prayed for it, and I cried at night, and I compared myself. I had one friend, my only friend, who was popular and fit in, very pretty. Everyone liked her, and I just remember, like, we didn't really have a deep friendship. It was more superficial, and, you know, I am grateful that all the lessons from that friendship and everything that I've learned, and just, you know, you should always be grateful for your experience, even if it was dark in the moment. It formed who you are today, and that's a beautiful thing. We're not friends anymore. We stopped being friends about 2 years ago for unknown reasons. We never actually talked about it. She just stopped talking to me one day. But anyway, and I guess we outgrew our friendship. It was more holding on to time rather than holding on to each other, and it was not the best relationship, and I'm sure she would agree to this. But anyway, she was my only friend in middle school, and everyone liked her, and I always looked up to her because she was really pretty. And I remember one time she wore belts, and I wanted to start wearing a belt, and so I wore one, you know, feeling confident. And I'm not trying to make her out as a horrible person, but I'm just telling my experience. She yelled at me for wearing the belt, saying that I couldn't wear it, that I was copying her, that I wanted to be her, and just all these things. And like, my whole entire life, I've always been so sensitive. on something with these guys that were popular, and I was in her room, and she did not show me. I wasn't allowed in the camera. Like, I couldn't be seen, and I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of things, and there's these little moments of time that build up insecurity, thinking no one likes me, build up ego, feeling like, oh, I don't fit in, I need to fit in. And these moments I remember vividly of always feeling left out, and it makes me sensitive. Every time I talk about my past, I just get sensitive. But I just felt left out, and I blamed it on a lot of things: my underbite, my scoliosis, and I'm getting so sensitive. But okay, I would watch Christian slam poetry, you know, any motivational thing, any Christian thing, I watched motivational speeches from a young age. I was watching these things, and I also wrote a lot. I wrote so much. Like, I have so many journals, and some of them are really sad, but I do think that I am a good writer. I don't like to say, like, oh, I'm good at this, whatever, but I've been writing all my life, and I always felt very channeled when I write. That was my escape, my way of, like, oh, I have a friend here, I'm talking to someone. That was my release. I always was an overthinker as well. I grew up pretty fast, not in the way of being independent and cooking and everything, not like that. No, I still can't cook. I don't even have my license, and I'm 22. It's bad, because I'm afraid. But anyway, I grew up fast in the sense mentally and emotionally, because I just always felt like I did not fit in. I had to find happiness within myself, so I would watch motivational speeches, I would watch these slam poetries, I would write, and I kind of grew this emotional intelligence of growing up fast, because in a way I thought my inner child was getting hurt. So I put on this masculine energy. I started in high school wearing all black to try to be intimidating, to try to show my power, when in reality what I was doing is I wasn't being authentic. All I was doing was trying to hide the sensitive self that got hurt so many times that feels insecure. And so I put up this wall, and then I chased people. I wanted people to like me, and so I would talk to guys, you know, anyone that I could get, I would talk to them, hoping for someone to fill my void of the lack of self-love that I had. And so I was just in this phase of, like, ego. I kind of stopped writing in high school, more so stopped writing in high school, and more towards the end. But okay, hold on, I'm losing track. So people didn't like me, compared myself a lot. I remember just looking at the popular kids too, and in middle school, thinking, like, what makes them special? What makes them popular? What's so bad about me? Like, what's wrong with me? I would ask all these questions, and I remember, I think in high school, in the beginning of high school, I looked at myself in the mirror just crying, realizing though that I was special, that I'm different, and because of this, great things are gonna happen, and I had that realization. But anyway, the summer of 2016, I'm skipping ahead because I know I already spent a lot of time talking about all of that. So to sum it up, insecurity, comparing myself, never feeling like I fit in, OI, scoliosis, underbite. I had my underbite surgery in the summer of 2016, and that surgery was horrible. I'm hearing loud noises right now. I don't know if you hear that. I never know. But I live with my family. Everyone's coming inside, coming out, especially on the weekends. It's like everyone's awake, but not that, they're allowed to be awake. But summer of 2016, I had my underbite. Oh, no, wait. So I was a sophomore in 2016. I had it 9th grade summer going into 10th grade. I had that, and although it helped my self-esteem a lot, I was still insecure because I don't think it's solved by anything external. It has to be solved by you feeling confident as you are, filling that void within yourself, finding yourself, and not changing anything external or outside of yourself, even physically. house, and I loved her house. I've always been into like decorating rooms, houses, and everything, but she had these Buddha heads, and I loved them. I was like so drawn to them, and so I went up some for myself. I was very drawn to them, and that's when I started decorating my room spiritual, but I wasn't spiritual just yet. I just loved them. They brought a very peaceful vibe to me, and I know, once again, Buddha heads can be controversial. They can be disrespectful to the religion, but if they're in my room, I'm not disrespecting the religion. Like, to me, it symbolizes peace and unity and spirituality and meditative states, and I just love them. So I do have a lot of Buddha heads around my room, and I don't mean any disrespect if you're a Buddhist or anything at all. I respect the religion, but to me, it's a philosophy. In my perspective, it's a philosophy of living, and that's why I just like having them around my room. But anyway, it's crazy because I met a Buddhist soon after, and we dated. That was my last relationship. He was a Buddhist, and we dated for about a year and a half, and then broke up in 2018. But summer of 2016 as well, me and the friend that I was talking about went to Myrtle Beach, and I don't even know what told me to watch it. I don't even know who told me. I don't know how I found out about it, but I watched The Secret, and I just remember watching it late at night. I put in my earphones, and I was just so resonating with every single word. Everything clicked, everything made sense. And the next day, my friend kept complaining about a lot of things, and I said to her in the nicest way I could, like, why don't we start being more positive? Like, I learned about this thing yesterday, law of attraction, and like, energy attracts like energy, so like the negative will attract it, you know? And I was just talking about it, and she got so mad at me and thought from then on, I think our relationship changed. I think it shifted. I think in a way, I don't know if this is like, it's one perspective, but I think in a way she thought that I was better all of the sudden because of me trying to better myself, trying to get into spirituality and law of attraction and everything. So I think, like, I remember she even told me that before, that she thought that I was always judging her when I wasn't. Me and her did not resonate. We had different interests, different things that we liked, and like, I would tell her, share my thoughts about spirituality or certain things, but then again, I felt like I couldn't even talk about it. So I felt like I couldn't be myself in the relationship, which I think kind of messed things up, where it just became an inauthentic relationship. But that's besides the point. So I had that realization, like, oh, why don't I start being more positive? You know, if like attracts like, why don't I? So that was the first step, The Secret, and then law of attraction. And I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of like edits, like blurs. It's because my brother just got home, so there's like doors opening and stuff. But so 2018 or 2017 and 2018 is when I created a Finsta. I think I actually had it in 2016. I recently, before this video, I was looking through my Finsta to see the exact times where I started talking about spirituality, and it was in 2017 and 2018. So I was still watching motivational videos, not Christian slam poetry anymore. I still identified as a Christian, okay? Because I was kind of afraid to let that identification go. And it took me a while, because even now I'm still a little insecure talking about it. I don't talk about it actually around my family or anything, but I don't know if they're watching this. I don't know. But yeah, I don't. Let me just get this clear. I don't identify as a Christian, but I see truths in Christianity. I identify as spiritual, which is freedom. Like, no identification. I don't want identifications to one thing, because I feel it's limiting when I see a lot of truths in everything, you know? I just don't like having these identifications, because if I were to tell you I'm Christian, what do you think? You think what you think. But if I told you I'm spiritual, it's like more free-flowing of exactly what that is. Even if you still have some I was afraid to get oracle cards. I was afraid of certain things, and I don't want to be fearful if God is all loving. And I always thought that, like, to me, sometimes religion sounds like ego and mind, rather than heart, love, acceptance. That was another thing. Like, I always, when I was a Christian, I always got in, like, debates and arguments, and for what? But about whose God is the truth, when in reality, I believe that, sorry, my throat, I believe that this is the truth, this is God, and we all have different perspectives of one thing. So I think we're just all seeing different sides to one truth, you know. So I don't want to argue whose God is right, whose God is the truth, whose God is real, because it's just a perspective of us just having a connection with God. I now call God the universe, source, higher power, higher self, source energy, the light, God. No identification, freedom. But anyway, oh my gosh, that was a lot. But so 2016 is when I had my spiritual awakening. The one spiritual awakenings, though, are like onions. You're peeling back onions and you find more depths and layers, and you have many spiritual awakenings, profound experiences. So there's been many layers to this. And another big one is in 2019 when I read The Power of Now. And after reading that, I went on a social media detox for a week. Couldn't do any more than that, but I got ghosted by a guy, and I realized I was also in 2016 and 17 and 18, and 18, I was still, in my ego and everything until 2019. I kind of had like maybe a spiritual ego or something, but 2019 is when we got to the depth of the ego. And reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, highly recommend. Everyone says different names, but highly recommend. Okay, it's really good. You won't regret it. It absolutely shifted my life. That was a pivotal moment just by that book. And so that was another spiritual awakening. Then I had another one in 2020 when my granddad passed away, and something profound happened. I was on the beach that night, and I got this overflowing emotion and words that said, "I love you. I'm here. I'm at peace." I don't know the order. "I'm at peace. I love you. I am always here." And I broke down in tears because the energy was it felt like he was right there. I felt the presence, the flow. I've never experienced anything like it. I've never lost anyone close to me, and oh my gosh, I just had a glare in my eye, and that freaked me out because I'm talking about it in a really good way, though. I can talk. Listen, this podcast will be every Saturday. Stay tuned. Subscribe. I will talk about a lot of stuff on here, okay? I can focus, my passion, everything. And I feel literally so connected to you, like it's insane. Like I feel like I know who you are, who I'm talking to. You know, you might as well be a face right now. Yeah, I know you're a face, but you know, staring at the camera. I see you. You know, make sure you comment because I see you even more when we're talking, when we're engaging. So be sure to comment. I love comments so much. Anyway, that sums it up. I had number 1, religious, OI scoliosis, and underbite. OI healing, scoliosis, stuck in room, and underbite. Insecurities, my friend. People not liking me compared myself very much in my ego, and I was always an empath. That's why I grew up fast. My soul felt as if it wasn't safe because I was so sensitive in everything that happened. I grew up fast, you know, in my masculine as well because of the motivational speeches and everything. Summer of 2016, I bought Buddha heads, and then I watched The Secret on vacation. Then why don't I become more positive? 2017 and 2018, I had my spiritual talks on my Finsta. I forgot to mention, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Mind Valley. And 2019, I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And after reading that, a lot has changed. Then I met Jordan later that year, which kind of is crazy. I read The Power of Now and met Jordan that year. Of course, like, if you read The Power of Now, like, you're getting something from that right after. But then in 2020, I started my YouTube channel on spirituality. Then in 2021, my ASMR channel. So, there's a lot to be said with all of that. This video would be so long if I spent time on every single thing. It was already long, and I actually talked about a bit. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope that was easy to follow. I don't know. So, this video was not necessarily requested, but Patricia and Michelle's Whispers ASMR. If you're watching this up until this point, they requested to talk more about spirituality, and I will be doing that. This ASMR podcast, I have so many plans for it, and recently I started writing down future guests that I would love to have on the channel. Shane Dawson, Tyler Henry, some other ASMR artists as well, and I don't know who yet. A lot of people though. I need to start raising my goals, streaming bigger. 1 second. Dream bigger, do bigger. So I'm gonna start stepping up my game. That's why I'm posting 4 times a week, and I really enjoy it, but I just need to get more organized. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned, subscribe, because I will be talking about a lot of things. I have so many ideas every Saturday: spirituality, personal development, relationships, life in general, deep talks, fun things, anything. We will be talking about some topics, so comment down below any topic that you want to hear about in the niches of all of that. If we need a refresher of this podcast, it will be on chakras, zodiacs, living your dream life, authenticity, loving yourself, law of attraction, mindset, relationships, charisma, esoteric concepts, femininity, mindfulness, mind, body, spirit alignment, spirituality, personal development, inner child healing, chakras and zodiacs, I mentioned that, human design,